When I talk to people, a lot of what they're frustrated by is that where are their people? How can their people hear them? How can they reach more of their people? So what we find is this is their current sphere, their current reach. But the people they're growing to reach are outside of that. So we have to find a way to reach beyond where we're reaching now. So the things that you're doing right now may be great, but if you're wanting to go where you haven't gone before, we need to add more things. We need to do more things that reach more people. And sometimes that means we have to grow. We have to learn some skills that we don't currently have. There's new things to learn. Sometimes it means we have to step somewhere we're not as comfortable in, kind of a new space. But here's what you want to know about that, is you want to go where your people are. We have to stop waiting for them to discover us. So sometimes that means we need to stretch beyond our current reach, doing the things that we're currently doing. And I want to encourage you here, because it can be exciting to learn new things. It can stretch us. We can also learn in that, I will never do that again. Has anyone ever had that experience? Yeah, but now we know, right? So we cross that off and we do a different thing going forward. It's okay to have those experiences. I want to invite you to be willing to be a little uncomfortable. Be willing to feel the fear in order to help someone that desperately needs your help. It's like reaching out into that turbulent water to help them. Too often we're waiting for them to discover us. We are the expert. Come find me. We want the transformation, but we don't want to be vulnerable and visible to bring it. This is what visibility is about. We need to be willing to be that light. We need to be willing to shine so brightly they can see us through the storm. They can see our hand outstretched. They can understand what we stand for. That we become that beacon that can guide them along that path where they don't step on the rocks and trip or get lost. We can help them. So I want to encourage you, wherever you are in your visibility, dial it up. Be willing to stretch past that space you're familiar with. Be willing to be seen, even if you're a little messy in the process. It connects with people powerfully. And they need you. They need each of our voices. So I'm going to share some ways that you can start stepping forward, that you can start reaching more people. But this is in our daily life too. It's not just on stage. It's how we show up at events, how we show up in the grocery store, how we show up in people's lives. Are we seen? Do we let them know who we are? Are we being who we are in all of our lovely dimensions? All the facets of who we are. In fact, some of those things that we may think are kind of weird and quirky about us, does anyone know somebody maybe that has quirks that are kind of funny? But isn't that kind of the very thing you like about them? And you associate with them? When I decided I was stepping professionally into being a speaker and being in media and stepping into radio, I didn't know television was going to come at that point, but stepping into that and telling my story, I hired a speech coach because I needed help. And I had a list, because we all know Rebecca likes lists, right? So I had a list. If I was going to make this investment, I was going to travel and fly down to Southern California to get this help. By golly, we were going to accomplish these things on the list. Like I was the expert. And any of us ever tell the experts how to help us? This was an expert. And I came with my list fully prepared, showing up in a certain way, so I was seen in a certain way. And I had this list, and I said top of the list was my laugh. Something had to be done about my laugh. So not professional. It was quirky and weird. And it just, that's not what speakers do. They don't laugh like that. And I shared my complete frustration and concern, and we have to fix this kind of thing. And he looked at my list, and he was patient, a patient man. He looked at the list, and he says, great. And he takes it, and he sets it to the side. He goes, now I've got your list. Let me share a truth with you. Because you're confused. You're not understanding the difference between an asset and a liability as a speaker, as a personality, as someone out there in media. Because one of the keys is you want to stand out. You want to be different. That's a good thing. And when you have something that people remember, is contagious in a good way, can be heard across the room and the next lobby. You have something like that that draws people and they remember about you and they smile and lean into. That's an asset. That's a good thing. That's not the thing you cross off about you. That's not the thing you try to get rid of. The things you worry about, the liabilities, are those things that interfere with your message, that they can't hear what you're sharing. Those are the things to work on. He goes, but the laugh, do more. I encourage you to be willing to stand out. Share those things that are unique about you. What are they going to do? You know? Share those things. Let them become part of how you show up in all places, all medias, in person, on stage. Be authentic and consistent in all of that. We have to be willing to learn what we don't know yet, to become what we need to become, to reach the people we need to reach, to serve the people we're called to serve. Does that make sense? Okay. So that means we have to do things differently. And we don't always like that. And our mind rebels. Because if we haven't done that before, it doesn't know it's safe. So it goes, warning, whoa, we haven't gone there, that's not checked out. All the other stuff you've survived, we know we can do that. I don't know about this. So what do we do in those moments?